one credit union. That's the one that we were talking about. That's the WISH program. Amazing program because it's a forgivable grant. Who doesn't want to get some free money? Okay, so what we want to do is be your main source for programs. So we needed to find something that was comparable to that, and we found it. So if you guys are looking at this flyer, we have an investor that is offering a forgivable grant. Believe it or not, we've actually had it. We just didn't know. Erica kind of pointed it out to me. We had it. They have two options. They have a repayment program and a forgivable. I was aware of the repayment one, and the repayment one is not that great. The interest rate on the second is about 2% above whatever the rate on the first is. So let's say they're getting a 6.5 on the first. That means that the second would be an 8.5% rate. And that payment has to be calculated into their debt ratio, which makes it more challenging, okay? So I've never been a big believer in DPA programs where there's a payment on that second. I'm always looking for opportunities where it's a silent second. And if you guys aren't familiar with silent second, it's a lien recorded against the property, but the silent means no payments, okay? So it either sits there earning zero interest, like the program we're gonna talk about. Some of them, like Cal HFA, the My Home program offers a 1% interest, which is still nothing in comparison. It's simple interest, it's nothing. So I like the programs where it's a silent second because again, we're not having to add in a payment on that second in their qualification, giving them more purchasing power, okay? The nice thing about this one is it's forgivable. Now here's the big thing. So what's the forgivable on the golden one? Do you guys know?
$33,000.
Okay, $33,000. And how long does it take? 5 years.
5
okay.
years.
5 years. So the benefit to this one is it's 36 months.
Yeah.
3 years. Okay. So 2 less years, they can forgive that. The other thing is, I believe credit one is capped at 32.5.
32.5 or 32.8?
32,000 something.
Something,
800.
750 or
Round
something.
off 35.
But that 32.5, which is a great number, you have to still contribute 1/4 of that.
Correct.
Okay, so the buyer still has to put some of their own money in.
Yeah.
Let's call that
Yeah,
$7,500.
wonderful.
Okay. The benefit to this one is it's 3.5% to 5% of the purchase price, and it's not capped at 32.5. So let's say the borrower is buying a $700,000 home. They can get 3.5% to 5%. It doesn't matter. It's not capped out. What's capped is the agency limits. Does that make sense? So do you guys know what the FHA loan limit is in Riverside?
Depends on the county, right?
The county.
830 something.
832, 750, but what is that? That is conventional,
Conventional.
okay? Do you guys know what the loan limit cap is for Riverside San Bernardino on FHA?
650 something.
690.
Yes, less than 7.
FHA.
Erica has
We have to know the
Spanish,
loan
too.
limits.
You have it Spanish? Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, guys, I don't expect you guys to remember the loan limits. It's hard for us to remember them, honestly,
They
because
change all the time.
they change every year, but we're trying to remember. We've got Riverside, San Bernardino, and then you've got LA and Orange County. Those are high limit counties, so there's different limits for those counties. Then we also have limits for 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4. It's easy to remember the 1 unit numbers, okay? It's impossible to remember 2, 3, and 4, okay? So a lot of times we look it up. Yes, what are you
This
gonna
can
say?
only be for like FHA?
This is for FHA, okay? So this is an FHA forgivable down payment grant. Forgivable after 36 months, okay? There's no cap on how much they can get. They're capped out on the purchase price of the home and the loan limit, and it's 3.5% to 5%. The 5% is a bonus because you could put 3.5% down and you have another 1.5% to use for closing costs, if you need that, okay?
And we could still ask the sellers for a concession
100%.
anyways.
And I'm gonna give you some strategies on that, okay? The other big thing that I think is one of the biggest bonuses here, minimum FICO is 600. I believe the WISH program is 660. I think it's 660.
I verified 620.
620, okay. So 620, we can go down to 600.
Okay.
What else does the WISH program have?
Well, what
immigration status.
You need to have a valid social.
You need to have a valid social, so this is a full doc
What
loan.
it doesn't have is they could never own a property ever before.
That's correct. This could be first-time buyers or repeat buyers.
Okay, that's huge.
That's huge. So like, let's say somebody is selling a home, They ended up having to sell it, they're walking away with very little equity and they wanna buy another home. And because they don't have that extra equity, they need some down payment assistance. Here we go. So they do not have to be a first-time home buyer. They can be repeat buyers, which is huge. A lot of first-time home buyers programs, or a lot of DPA programs, are first-time home buyers only. Eileen?
So it would need to be their primary residence.
It has to be primary, yes.
But they could own other homes,
They can own other homes, it has to be primary.
but this one has to be primary.
Yes. One other thing that you guys are missing is, what else does the WISH program have?
You gotta qualify for the, annual household median income in the city.
80%.
The
right.
biggest one,
Yeah.
that's
the
huge.
income
That's
limitations.
huge.
And most programs that we deal with, Cal HFA, the Orion, you name them, they all have income limitations. This program does not.
Wow.
It's huge. That's probably one of the biggest things, because the income qualifications through WISH and some of these other programs are so low that it's like, how do they even qualify for a home with those low? I think it's 80% of the
80% of
of the
Yeah.
area median
Yeah,
income,
median.
okay? This does not have that, okay? So that's a huge, huge
So even
benefit.
if they make more than 80%, they can still,
They can make $500,000 a year.
and
they
still
can get
qualify
this.
for this loan.
Yeah. Now, somebody who's making $500,000 a year that doesn't have any money, that's concerning to me.
Yeah.
Now, is it
There's a
concerning?
bigger issue there.
Is it concerning that I don't wanna lend them money? No, it's concerning
Where's
that,
the money going?
where's the money going?
Yeah.
Because I still believe, and you guys want, my belief on this is, if you have a way of leveraging retirement, your savings, without taking a big tax hit, go that route over going with a DPA program, again, down payment assistance program. And the reason is, a lot of these programs have higher interest rates attached to them. So to give you an example, this particular program, if you're going with the 3.5 option, it's close, and again, it's gonna vary, but I think we ran it at 660.
Yeah.
So we ran it at kind of like a mid FICO, it was 7.49%, okay? It's a higher FHA rate, and the thing is they have to stay in that higher rate for 3 years. They can't refinance out of it, because if they refinance early, what happens?
You gotta repay it.
You gotta repay that money. So they're kind of locked into a 7.5% rate for 36 months. Now, if they qualify for it, free money's free money. Like, it's hard to like really argue that. In comparison, if I were looking at a Cal HFA program, okay, Cal HFA, the rate on FHA right now is 6.25. So you're 1.25 lower in rate on the Cal HFA. The difference is Cal HFA is not forgivable.
Correct.
So you could be in that loan and stay in that rate for 7 years and decide to refi, and you gotta pay that money back when you either sell or refinance that home. Now, at a 1% simple interest, it's not that much money, but in 6 months, if rates come down and they wanna refi, they can't, because
You're locked in.
you're not necessarily, you're locked in with this particular program. With Cal HFA, you gotta pay that money back. If you haven't earned enough equity in the last 6 months to a year, you're gonna be paying that back, and you're back to like 100% loan to value. You're basically owing what you paid for the home.
And that's the key. You have to have equity in the house. So if you haven't built enough equity,
You're stuck in it anyways.
you're upside down.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the major benefits of this program. 600 versus the WISH's 620, okay? No income restrictions at all versus the income requirements that WISH has. The rate, did we ever figure out what the
No,
rate was?
I'm waiting on that.
Okay, let's get what that is. But again, I would be very surprised if it's like a slow 6. I'd be very surprised. The other program is, or the other part is, this is the other thing, and I don't know anybody from any credit union. They may be great. I'm a big believer that it's not the company,
It's a person.
it's the person behind that company that you're dealing with. Golden One might be a great credit union, but if the person representing that company doesn't communicate well, you're gonna get proper communication from us, okay? So we're in-house, we're gonna communicate with you, we're gonna be relentless on our transactions in terms of communication. We, in all honesty, that's how all business should be. We don't have a choice, because if we drop the ball, that spreads like
You're not as
wildfire.
good as your last one.
Yeah, okay. So lower FICO, no income restrictions, silent second, and the other one, the big one,
3 years.
forgivable in 36 months versus 5 years, okay? What questions do you have, Eileen?
Well, I had a comment, like, if you go like with some outside lender other than DHL, they're not gonna help you when you're like on the listing side and need to cross-qual someone.
Yeah.
Or they're not gonna help you when you need someone to save a deal. I mean,
Yeah,
Or your
we're gonna talk about cross qualifications in more detail during the meeting today, because I wanna do it in front of everybody, but if you guys aren't familiar with it, I'll give you guys a little bit of a firsthand. This week alone, this week and last week, I've had 3 agents come up to me on transactions where they're the listing agents, and those deals are falling apart. And 2 of them for sure are, I can guarantee you, things that we could have avoided up front if they had cross-qualified. Are you guys opposed to cross-qualifications? Do you know why you might be?
To qualify a buyer.
To make sure that
Yeah,
loan is
that's-
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my personal opinion is a lot of
It's a
people don't
safety
wanna do
net.
it. It's a safety net, it's a safety net, and it literally costs you nothing to do it. It's just an extra set of eyes who are professionals at, you know, reviewing financing to see if we can see anything that pops out. And listen, we're not perfect either. It's, you know, we could miss something. Cross qualifications are not ironclad. Doesn't mean that the buyer doesn't get cold feet. Like one of them, I did one like a month ago with Lisa. Cross qual was outstanding. They backed out 3 days later. Not because the financing was bad. They wrote 5 different offers the same day, got ours accepted, and then the one they really wanted got accepted 3 days later, and they decided to go with that home instead.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with financing. That's just hand Tony one of those flyers, Erica. So it's just, we can't control those kind of things. If somebody gets cold feet, they want another property, but what we can control is looking for any red flags in the financing. If you have a buyer who's making an offer on one of your listings and they happen to be doing their loan through like a major bank, B of A, Wells, Chase, US Bank, or a credit union, a Golden One, a Westcom, what's the big one we see? Schools First, yeah. That's a very common credit union here in SoCal. A lot of times those banks are restricted to what they can give out. That's fine. Well, your buyer's not restricted. I'll get that information from the buyer, okay? All you have to do is put in your listing in the MLS that buyers may be asked to cross-qualify with listing agent's preferred lender. You don't have to put anything. You can put our names, you can put our numbers, whatever you want to do. But all you're doing is letting them know there's a good chance this may happen. The reason is we used to put it on there, all buyers to be cross-qualified. And back in the day, 2020, 21, I'd say back in the day, a couple years ago, it was a crazy market. Every home had like 15, 20 offers on it. And we were getting 15 to 20 cross-quals. It's just too much to handle. There's no way we can handle that much. So what I suggested is just put it on there, they may be asked. And if you guys decide to counter 1, 2, 3 of the best offers, you write it into the counter. Buyer to be qualified by Jesse at Direct Home Lending with his number and his email address. Our job at that point is to send out an email to the lender, the listing agent, and the buyer's agent. Why do we send it to everybody? We keep everybody accountable, right? It makes us accountable, because if you don't send an email and you try reaching out to the lender, what does the lender say? Oh, I've been trying to reach out to your lender and he's not picking up the phone. It's all BS. They don't want to go through this process. A lot of lenders don't want to do it.
Because they
Okay.
fear losing the
They
deal.
fear losing the deal. And if you've been around and you've been doing this long enough, you're gonna realize, I do cross quals all the time for my buyers. I put a package together immediately, sometimes before they even ask for it. Boom. I just did it with, I think, Eileen's. Didn't we do that? Was it Eileen's or?
You do whatever I need you to do.
Yeah, I know. But we're proactive about just creating that cross-qual package ahead of time, because it shows we're on it. It shows we want to get this thing taken care of, okay? The biggest gripe, and this is my personal opinion, the biggest gripe is that agents will say, it's my only offer. I don't want to rock the boat with the buyer and the agent. I don't want them to not submit the offer. If it's your only offer, this is even more of a reason you should have a buyer cross-qualified, because what happens if you don't have buyers and you don't have backup offers and this deal falls apart?
You have nothing.
You
The
have
world is
nothing.
ending.
You have nothing, okay? So my personal opinion is you literally have nothing to lose. You educate your seller on why you're doing it. Your seller's not gonna be like, why are you doing that? They want that, okay? It doesn't cost them anything. And if we see something we don't like, we can let you guys know, hey, this is what we're seeing. And sometimes we see things we don't like, and we're able to ask the questions, and they're able to come back with solid answers and explain it to us. Provide us that documentation then, or provide us this. You know, if we don't see enough proof of funds, we're gonna question that. Where's the money coming from? Oh, it's coming from a gift. Cool, can you give me the donor's bank statement so we can see proof of that?
Do we have a gift letter?
Yeah, do we have a gift letter? Even if I have a gift letter, does a gift letter really mean anything?
Without a bank statement?
Without a bank statement? No. If the donor doesn't want to give up their bank statement, we got a problem. Now, I have had situations where a buyer's like, I'm a private person, I don't want to give out my information anymore. Cool, that's fine. Your seller is not a private person. They want to make sure their deal is going to go through. At that point, it's just a judgment call on your guys', if you want to take the risk. I'm not saying it's a risk, but it is.
But in a way it is.
In a way it is.
It is.
You're taking the risk to accept an offer without having that second set of eyes. If something goes wrong, I mean, and it can, we know that.
If there's already
Okay?
red flags before the offer gets
Yeah.
accepted, what if the donor says, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm not giving 20% to my cousin Debbie?
Yeah.
There goes your escrow.
Well, and here's the other thing. You guys are professionals at reading contracts. We're professionals at reading financing, okay? I can look at a purchase contract and I go to certain sections because it involves
Pertains to
us as lenders. But if I go 3 pages into it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I look at the first 2 pages. Anything beyond that, I could care less because it has nothing to do with me. But you guys need to look at that because if they don't check a box, that could be the difference between contingencies or all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy stuff that I don't even know anything about because I'm not trained at that, okay? So we have you guys stay in your lane.
Yeah.
We look at other things, but like I said, I don't want you guys to get an offer for 30% down and be like, cool, they're putting 30% down, they got 725, this is a slam dunk deal. That doesn't mean shit, guys.
And there's no bank statement showing where the 30%.
Or it's just an approval letter. Hey, they're qualified, and like anybody can generate a pre-approval letter. Anybody can generate an automated underwriting, which we call DU or LP. Okay. The only thing you really can't generate is proof of funds. I mean, you can doctor anything these days, but if I get a bank statement, you know, and the account numbers are redacted, that's okay. The addresses are redacted, that's okay. All I'm looking for is page 1 to show me a balance. But if I get a bank statement from January and we're in August, is that a problem?
Yep.
Yeah.
Money could be gone.
I want the most recent statement. I want to see the income to prove that the DU, the income they're using, is accurate. So I know we kind of just jumped into like cross-qual. I'm going to talk about it more in the training or in the meeting today. But if you get a listing, there is no reason why you guys should not be asking the buyer to cross-qual. Okay? It's very simple. You put it in the counter and you let us run with it. Okay? Eileen?
Back onto this program, I did some
Quick.
I did some number crunching.
Okay?
So if someone purchases a home at $690
Mm-hmm.
and they, at the 7.49 interest rate, their payment would be approximately, just P&I would be just over $4,600.
Okay?
If the going rate is actually 6.49,
Mhm.
then the P&I would be a little over $4,200. The difference is $447 per month.
Okay?
If you times that by 36, that equals just over $16,000. So a buyer after 3 years would be ahead by over $18,000.
There you go.
So even with the higher interest rate, they're about $20,000 in favor,
Yeah.
a benefit to them.
This is what happens when you know your stuff. You see what happens?
Yeah. The numbers make sense, you guys. There's no, a lot of people will look at it and be like, man, everybody's payment sensitive, okay? As lenders, I'm gonna give you an example because it's the easiest example. When we look at people who are looking to refinance, they're at a 3% interest rate. I don't wanna get rid of my 3% rate. I'm like, yeah, but you have $80,000 in debt. Let's cash you out and let's pay off all that debt. Their mortgage payment goes up because their loan increased, right? So if their mortgage payment goes up $600 a month, even if their rate's 6.5, okay? Their mortgage payment goes up $600, but they just eliminated $1,500 in monthly liability.
You're winning.
Are they still ahead?
Yeah.
Yes. People get stuck on rate, and what they need to be more stuck on is their outgoing monthly liability. I'm not saying rate is not important, okay? But if I'm solving a problem, are you gonna say no to the rate because you're gonna save $900 a month? No, there's no way nobody's gonna say no to that, okay? But sometimes we have to be creative and do exactly what Eileen just did and show them I'm a visual person. You could sit and tell me stuff all day long from an auditory standpoint, and I get it. But half the stuff my wife tells me, it goes in one ear and out the other. If she wrote it on a piece of paper and like put it in front of me, I'd probably remember it, right? I know it is wrong, but it's the truth. Like
She will not see this video, I
no,
promise.
she doesn't. But I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that my brain is just going
Well, why
100
you're
miles an
different,
hour
yeah.
all the time that I need to sometimes visually see something. Your buyers and your sellers need to visually see
Yes.
numbers to compute it. And if you, and they go 7.5%, and then you show them that, and you show them they're still ahead $18,000, that's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Now,
Okay?
what would be the drawback to this? Like, if I'm a buyer, what would be something that I would say, you know what? Oh, never mind. I think I'm going to borrow from my 401k that 3.5% and go traditional. What would be something that might throw me off?
I would, so if somebody comes in and I'm talking about this program, before I even get to this program, I'm usually, because people will tell us, we're looking for assistance. Okay, cool.
Great.
So my first question is, okay, do you have any sort of retirement accounts? Yeah, I've got a 401k. I don't know how much is in there. I've been working for the company for 10 years. I probably got $50,000. Have you ever reached out to your 401k company to see how much you can borrow? Because I will tell you that most people who have retirement, especially 401ks or a TSP or something along those lines, depending on if it's a government job, they are, and we all kind of, we all are instructed as kids and we learn as we get older, don't touch it, it's your retirement. Is your asset, your biggest asset in life, a retirement plan?
No, it's your house.
But is it your biggest asset? Absolutely. Your house is your biggest asset you generally purchase. Look at that as retirement. And it will probably grow at a quicker pace in terms of appreciation and earnings than your 401k. Okay? So if you're going to borrow money from your 401k to transfer that money from one retirement account to, in my opinion, another piece of retirement, why would you not consider that?
Yeah.
Okay?
Plus you pay yourself back the interest
Correct. Most
You're
people,
not gonna make 18,000.
in a 401k.
depends. I'm not, listen, I'm gonna be very clear. I'm not opposed to DPA programs by any means, okay? But you're gonna get more purchasing power when you go with a program that does not require. For what
Correct.
reason? One, rates are higher, which means payment higher, which means you qualify for
Qualify for
less.
less.
You know, sometimes they have tighter qualifying restrictions.
And it might take a little longer than 30 days to close.
And it could take, yeah, it could take, this is a 30-day transaction.
30-day,
Yeah,
right.
this doesn't have to go to any, when I first got in this business and we used to do like CalHalfa loans,
Yeah.
we literally had to have the underwriter underwrite the file, get it clear to close, and at that point, when we would normally send a file to the closing team to draw docs, we would send a physical package to CalHalfa, like literally, physical package, and we would wait 3 to 5 days for them to say, you're good to go. Now it's all electronic and we can usually get CalHalfa's response in a couple days.
And back in the days, I mean, down payment assistance deals were a 60-day escrow.
Oh yeah, yeah. So now,
You remember, right?
getting deals done with DPA programs, in most cases, is 30 days or less. Okay. When I get 30-day escrows, I'm like twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, man, this is gonna take forever because we should be closing things in 15 to 17 right now. Okay. If you've got a DPA program, you definitely want to go with 30 days, and you can always write in the contract 30 or sooner. Doesn't mean you're gonna remember those deals that are 15 to 17 days are usually like what? Vacant homes.
Correct.
Okay, they're vacant homes. But like with DPA programs, you definitely want to do like a 30-day escrow. Okay? So
And EPA stands for?
Down payment assistance.
Yep, I didn't call that one ahead of time. I should have just wrote assistance.
Down
What's the
payment
E?
assistance.
Down D, it's
D.
D.
It's D.
Oh, that's why I'm not getting it. Okay, got it. Now I got it.
Wes, what is 3.5 and 5%?
Great
Down
question.
payment.
Silent,
So,
second.
so
we have a
silent.
question here.
Those
So
two-
Pooja just asked, what is the 3.5 and 5? So let's say you're buying an $800,000 home. You can choose to go with 3.5% assistance or 5% assistance. Now, what's the difference between those two? I will tell you that the rate on the 3.5, I just quoted 7.49 on a 660 FICO. Okay, if you go with the 5%, the rate's going to be higher, and you're going to have to pay points up front. Now, this is really important, guys. Hear me out on this. Almost all of the DPA programs we have require upfront borrower paid points. It's almost like a participation. You got to pay.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, skin in the game. You got to pay to be a part of that program in closing costs. Okay, so for CalHalfa, it's 2 points. For this one, it's 2 points. Okay, what do we do in those situations? We got a buyer who's got no money. They are getting down payment assistance, whether it's 3.5 or 5%. What do you need to do on your offer? What should we be doing on all
Stack
of
the
our
fees
offers?
and ask for closing.
Ask for closing costs. If you have to, stack the fees as long as the values work.
Does anybody know what stacking is? You add those fees on top of the offer, and then you ask for concessions.
So let's say you have a home listed for 500,000, okay? And you need $20,000, which is doable. I've got two right now with 20,000. You could either go up to 520. Now, if you're a multiple offer situation and you want to be aggressive, you go to 520, you ask for 20,000, and they're netting the 500,000 list price. The big thing is you need to do your homework ahead of time and make sure the home is going to be valued and appraised at 520. If there are no comps in the area
Don't do it.
supporting 520, don't do it. We're wasting our time. You could also say, I'm gonna offer 510, ask for 20. Now they're netting 490, which is only 10,000. That's not a bad offer. We see a lot of that, right? It's all negotiating. If you're the only offer, be aggressive.
Ask.
Okay, start at 500, ask for 20. Now they're netting 20 grand under asking, okay? But if you're in a multiple offer situation, that's your job to do what? Call the listing agent, do your homework, do reconnaissance, find out what's happening with the seller, how many offers do you
Reason
have.
to sell.
Yeah, try to draw as much information out. Some listing agents are pretty good about that, some are tight-lipped, and they don't give you much of anything. But try to get as much as you can, because that information is the ammunition you need to
Structure something.
structure the deal, okay?
And this is where you have to do it over the phone. Don't do this via text.
Yeah.
Because I still see a lot of agents negotiating via
Yeah.
text. We're not in the sixth grade. There's a lot of money involved, and deals happen over the phone. You
Yeah.
have to establish relationships and camaraderie with the listing agent. And I always tell the listing agent, listen, this is gonna be the easiest transaction of your life. I'm very easy to work with. I'm here to make your job easy. It's not an ego fight. It's not a, well, I've been in the game longer than you. It's not about that. It's how can we make it a win-win for both sides? And usually, sometimes my offers are not the highest, but they want to work with me because I'm going to make it easier. You're not going to have to chase me for an update. I pick up my phone on the weekends, and people want to work with people that are going to make it easier.
We're in a relationship-driven business, guys.
Amen.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and this just happened this week, Eileen and I just got an offer accepted. Eileen called multiple times and emailed the listing agent when the offer was sent, prior to the offer being sent. Once the offer was sent, did you get our offer? Do you have any questions? I reached out to the listing agent, had multiple conversations, even texting, like when I know she was with the agent or with the seller. Hey, just wanna check in and see if you had any last minute questions. The communication won us the deal. There were 2 or 3 other offers.
Yeah, there's 2 other offers. I delivered flowers to the open house, and we actually submitted the offer when it hit the MLS, what was still incoming soon. We hit it, like, we sent the offer out a week before the property even became available to be sold.
Yeah. And I will tell you, it sounds like almost like who's not calling to see that the offer got accepted? Who's
You'd be
not
surprised.
following up? But people don't do it. It blows my mind. And the reason it blows my mind, it's like second nature to us. I would never have an agent send an offer where I'm representing the buyer in their financing and not call
To
the
confirm.
listing agent. Now, does that mean that the listing agent's gonna return my call? No.
No.
It's probably 50-50. Some agents will pick up the phone and have a great conversation. Sometimes they'll call me. Some of them, it's just hit or miss, you know? But it's our job to be proactive, to advocate for our buyer's offer. And if we're the only ones doing that, even before the offer's accepted, if you're that listing agent, wouldn't you be like, man, these people communicate?
Yeah.
Just this alone is probably a good sign that we're gonna get proper communication throughout the transaction. And people will push, and I don't say push because you can't steer your sellers, but agents will say, hey, I know this offer is 10 grand more, it's over asking, we might have but these people, they're communicating with me, I've already heard from them half a dozen times. I think we should go with this offer. And sometimes that's the difference and gets the deal won, okay? If I'm submitting an offer and we're utilizing this program, Jesse, Erica, myself, we're not only putting in an approval letter, we're not only putting in a DU, we're not only putting in whatever proof of funds they have, which isn't a lot, right? But we're also putting in this flyer. Because if I don't send something, their job is to be like, they're gonna look at it and be like, where's the down payment coming from? Well, on the next page they flip, they see this and they're like, oh, they're doing some sort of down payment assistance. And then they get a call from me to talk about it
Explain
in
it.
detail. That's the kind of stuff. I cross-qualify offers all the time where they're getting down payment assistance. And I'm like, where's the money coming from? Oh, they're doing this program. Well, then why the hell didn't you tell us? why didn't you just put a flyer in the beginning? Like, if I punch this hole in the wall right now and I fix it, every time you come in here, you know at one point there was a hole in the wall. But for somebody who never saw the hole in the wall, they don't know. Why am I gonna give them a package that's got a hole in it? An offer right from the
Makes
get-go?
no sense.
It makes zero sense. Our job is to get offers accepted, okay? Debbie, you have a question?
So.
You know what, actually, hold on, Debbie, 1 second.
Okay.
I wanna finish this question, because
Sure.
so you asked about the 3.5, 5. Silent second means there's no payments made on it. Okay, so the silent, it's a second lien recorded against the property, but that grant that they're getting, let's call it 40,000, there's no payments being made on it. There's no interest on it. So it sits there as a second lien. If they sell or refinance that home before the 36 months is up, they've got to pay back that original amount, 40,000. If they go all the way
Basically a
through,
second loan, but it doesn't trigger until 36
There's no payment.
months.
there's no
Correct.
payments.
Okay,
Now, there's a lot of second loans out there that have payments. They're just not called silent seconds.
Correct.
got it.
Okay, does that clarify?
And what is 5%? You said 3.5 is about
So,
7.5.
so 5% is, I think we looked at that rate, I think it was like 7, it was a little bit higher, I think it was like 7.625, but it had points associated with it. So I think you had to charge like 1.25 points up front. Now, hear me out here. You're gonna charge the borrower 1.25 just to get that rate. So remember, 1 point is
Kind of like a buy down
equivalent,
type of thing.
it's equivalent to 1% of the loan amount. So 1.25% plus, we have to charge 2 points on top to be a part of the
It's
program.
too crazy.
So now we're asking for 3.25 points plus all of the other fees. Now, on a $480,000 home, we may be asking for $25,000.
From them.
And that's a lot to ask for. So personally, I wouldn't go the 5% route because I would just try to negotiate getting the seller to pay all the costs. Make sense? Okay, Debbie, what's your question?
I have somebody I've been back and forth with, and she has a good job. She does have 80,000, but to get her to what she would want to buy, she needs more down payment. So if it's somebody that has some money, can they still would they still qualify for something like this? She owned a long time ago, she hasn't owned recently, she has a decent income, her FICO scores, I'm sure in the 600s, but she does have some of the money. Would she still qualify for this?
Yes, so you can stack a forgivable grant or down payment assistance on top of money. There's nothing that says they can't have
Some of the
10,
down,
15, 20% of their own money.
okay,
I don't think it makes sense to do that
okay,
because you're getting much different financing. Like FHA has mortgage insurance on
it's
it.
gonna cost her.
Correct.
It's gonna cost her higher in rate, it may impact her qualifying. But how do we know that she's not gonna get what she wants? How do you know that?
Well, she was thinking 500,000, but she wanted to be in like a $3,000 payment. But what she had for a down payment, the money, it wasn't making sense.
So I'm gonna say something right now, and some people hate this, but my mentor for years, for 15 years when I first got in this business, has told me, the best loan in the world is the one you can get. Now, I know that sounds harsh, and I've said that to buyers, and I don't say it to like knock them down, but it's the reality. I know you want that $3,000 payment on this purchase price, but you can't have it.
Right.
We can't make miracle. I mean, we try to make miracles
So
happen. But you know
that's
what I mean?
why
Like,
she's waiting for more down payment money.
so as she's waiting for more down payment money, prices are going up. Okay, so when people come to me, they're like, I'm gonna try to save 20 grand more over the next year and a half. Okay,
But now property values went up 40 grand.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I had a buyer the other day say, Wes, or he said, I really thank you, I'm approved, that's great news. And I said, so what's your time frame? And he's like, I'm probably gonna wait 3 to 6 months. And I said, okay, so what's your reasoning? Are you trying to save more money? Because we're gonna do down. He's like, honestly, Wes, I'm scared. And I said, I appreciate that answer because people never say that. They tell you they're scared in a way, but he like just blatantly said, I'm nervous and I'm scared. And I said, you know what? In 3 to 6 months, you're gonna be nervous and scared. In a
That's
year,
not gonna change.
you're gonna be nervous and scared. If you're not, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And these people are in their early 20s. Every first time home buyer should be scared. Like it's a nerve-wracking thing. You're getting payment shock because you're going from maybe a $3,000 or $2,500 rent to a $4,000 payment. It's a lot of responsibility. Like, it doesn't surprise me that people are scared. I appreciated his answer because he was straightforward. And I said to him, I said, look, man, Omar, you're gonna be scared and nervous in 3 months or 6 months. If it has nothing to do with anything but just you're like frightened to buy, go now. Do it now. And we're doing it, you know? But he was nervous, and I appreciate that answer. So our job is to try to iron out these things and explain like why it's a good time to, like we are, I know this sounds funny, we're like therapists. We are. We're like therapists. Because we're constantly trying to keep people engaged in the process because they are nervous. Every day they're thinking about it when they go home after work. They text me, I think we're gonna back out, and then I gotta do the therapist call. You know? And all I'm doing is just trying to reiterate and make them feel comfortable again. If they decide they don't wanna do it, that's fine. It's not our job to say you have to do it. It's our job to be there to answer their questions and make them feel good about the situation.
2 years ago when I bought the house, I was scared because I went from the Highland house being paid for and having no mortgage to having a $6,000 payment on a mid 900K home.
Right.
You don't think that was scary?
No.
I was like, but that's what I want.
And we're in the business.
And we're in the business. And I said, property values are going to go up even more. So this house is going to be worth 1.2 in 3 years, which is going to be even scarier. And I'm going to need more down payment, and the payment's going to go higher.
In our business, like when I bought my first home, I was nervous, and I was basically doing my own loan. In a way, I wasn't signing my name to it, but I was handling it. I was nervous. And it's not because I couldn't afford the payment, but I also understand our business. It's cyclical. It's up, it's down. That's just part of the business. I don't care how long you're in this business, you will see a down market, and you will see a market that's on fire. It's just going to be that way. But it makes me nervous because I've lived through 3 of those cycles in this business. So I know that things could get tough 5 years from now. I'm not saying it will, but that's a possibility. So of course I'm gonna be nervous because I gotta make sure that I can make that payment even when things get slow
No matter
and tough,
what.
no matter what, okay? We're not sitting here as W-2 employees getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. Doesn't work that way, guys. I mean, I'd love it, but it doesn't work that way. We have the ability to make way more money. We control our income, right? Eileen?
I actually have 3 questions.
Okay.
Could we do this with like a FHA 203K? What if they were to
great
sell in like
question.
2 years? And what about like an EMD?
Okay, 203K, I don't know the answer on that. So I will find out the answer on that. You also asked, what if they sell in 2 years? They pay back whatever the grant was,
The entire.
the entire
Yeah.
thing.
So it's not like prorated?
No.
It's not prorated, and there's 0 interest on it, so they're not earning interest over that 36 months. So if you're pretty close to that 36-month period, you're better off waiting 2, 3, 4, 6 months than paying that thing off. Okay, so whatever they owe, if it's 40 grand on day 1, that's exactly what they pay off if they sell or refinance within that 36-month period.
So having that $40,000 of proceeds extra by waiting 4 months or being tackled a $45,000 off of your net.
Off of your equity.
Yeah, it makes no
Yeah,
sense
it
to not
doesn't make any
wait.
sense. And the last question you asked was?
Like, so it's programs for people basically that don't have money, potentially, it will open the door for them. But what about like an earnest money deposit? Is that?
No, because they don't get this money until later on. So if you're dealing with an earnest money situation,
Could be gift funds?
it can be gifts. It can be gifts. Remind me to talk about property too. It can be gifts. So if you don't have even the EMD and you need a $2,000 deposit and you're getting a gift, it can be a gift.
So if they, like in the olden days, were able to structure the finances to where they would actually get money back at close of escrow?
You can absolutely do that. So let me kind of give you that example. The down payment's covered, 3.5%. You negotiated $20,000 to cover all of the closing costs. The $2,000 deposit that's in escrow, if everything is covered, that $2,000 within 24 hours of closing gets refunded back to who?
The buyer.
The buyer. Now, if that money, because it came up this week, if that money was originally a gift from a family member, it never goes back to the donor. It always goes back to the buyer, and it's the buyer's responsibility to get
make
that
sure that
money
they
back.
do the right thing.
However they work it, it's not our problem, right? We don't,
Yeah.
but the money never goes back to the original donor. It goes to whose name is on the contract, period, okay? So properties, let's talk about that. Primary residences, condos, no manufactured homes on this program. No manufactured homes.
And no mobile, obviously.
and no mobile, yeah.
So the down payment goes back to the payment, schedule after 36 months?
No,
Like
it's-
if you owe six, it's
It's gone.
It's forgiven.
It's forgiven.
Then what did you say about the 40,000? Just now you made a point that
If
you
it
have,
paid-
it comes back on the.
Oh, no, what I was saying is, let's just say, every buyer who writes an offer has to put some sort of deposit in, whether
To
it's
open escrow.
1,000, 5,000,
Right.
10,000,
Right,
okay? If that money was a gift, or if it came from the buyer, it doesn't matter, whoever it came from, if the down payment's covered through a program like this, okay?
no, but you said you have to pay it back. If you sell the house, you have to pay back the.
No.
Yes.
No, we were talking about, if the
Yes.
total money that was given was 40 grand,
Yeah,
and you sell or refinance within 36 months, you do have to pay that back.
okay.
You have to pay it back. Now, what does that mean? What does paying it back mean? It doesn't necessarily mean you gotta take money out of your savings account and send it back. It means it's gonna come out of your net proceeds if you're selling the home. So if you had 80,000 in net proceeds, now you got 40, because you gotta pay that back. Or if you're refinancing and you owed 400,000,
Now you owe
now you owe
440.
440.
But after 36 months, it's
It's
forgiven.
forgiven, gone.
Basically, you are locked, you're locked.
You're locked in that loan
for
for 36 months.
If you want that free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't, then go traditional FHA.
Yeah. Listen, there's no crazy, they're not people, listen, we all know this saying, there's nothing for free out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're getting money. The lenders don't give away money because it's free. They have analysts that work on these programs and figure out if they keep it for 36 months, do we make a profit? Yes. So they're making their profit on what? The rate, the 7.49. Now, to Eileen's point, they're only getting 16,000 of that. The buyer's making 18. But when these investors sell loans on the secondary market, there's a premium to those loans. So trust me, they're not losing money. And to talk about secondary financing is kind of, it's even above my head, so I'm not even gonna go into it. But trust me, lenders make money, okay? They wouldn't be lending money if they weren't making it, okay? So, yes,
Is there a limit on how much funds are available for this?
no,
No.
no. That's
So
the
this
one,
is 'cause you're-
that's the one thing, as a lot of these programs that are out there, especially county and city programs, they run out of money quick, okay? So your bigger entities, your big wholesale banks usually have money that doesn't run out. Whereas like a city program, if you gotta apply for it, that can run out of money. One thing before I go to Pooja's question, one thing that I always forget about, especially in our area, guys, go to the local board. It's not called Tiger anymore. What's it called? Okay, they have like a $2,000 grant. You just gotta apply for it. And if you talk to Trish has, I think, used it a couple times. It's $2,000.
That could be the EMD.
That could be the EMD. Well, it could be a reimbursement.
part of it, yeah.
Yeah, because it does take some time to get
So
that
that's
money.
in any city?
That's in any city, but you have to be a member of the board, I think.
Yeah.
So,
What's the board? They have a new name?
Oh, the buyer has to be.
What's it called?
C-dig.
C-dig?
See, dig?
Like
C
you're
dig.
digging.
Like you're
C-dig.
digging, C-D-I-G,
No, C, like letter C?
Yeah.
Dig.
C-dig, I don't know. Yes.
Is there expiration date, a sundown date?
I have no, on this or on the,
On this?
no. Nope. Yeah, this doesn't have like a tied in, like end of August thing. This is like a program that's the wholesale lenders offering.